Welcome back to Light Crusader. Now let's finish this. Yeah, that's
Here we are.
Yeah.
The final villains is impenetrable base.
Yeah, looking
This
back.
is where we right the wrongs.
Yeah, looking back at the original
Pass the
playthrough.
rug.
Looking back at the original playthrough, this playthrough that I'm doing right now is definitely a much better playthrough because I go through the entire final floor in just one part, whereas the last time I needed 2 parts. So
Yeah, we're a lot more experienced now with age.
well, I'm talking about
Hello there.
it was really frightening.
That's why you're standing there
story,
for
Mark.
Superman pose.
There you go. So he's the child that woman was looking for.
I thought that was a girl. Shoot.
Is it? Like, that's the thing. Like, the game's character designs can sometimes be difficult to tell.
Like I said, our protagonist, when he comes to his face price, looks like an old man. He kind of looks a bit like the first Doctor.
Huh. David the Doctor.
Answer the riddle,
Yeah.
Doctor.
David the Time Lord.
Ha ha ha. It's funny because the guy who's played the first Doctor nowadays, his first name is David.
Huh. And he's not Tennant.
Oh, David is a very common name, Jova.
Yeah, I have a cousin named David.
Alright.
Well, we've had 2 Doctors played by someone named Peter.
Also, I love how Tenet is pretty much so popular now that he's pretty much being used as like the company's get out of jail free card whenever they do some stupid
Well,
stuff.
we cannot use Eccleston anymore, even aside from some minor material, because he still has a beef.
Alright,
with,
so let's try this door
There we go.
first.
That was a nice puzzle.
Alright, let's...
Them.
Yes, beat
Also
them.
positions.
He doesn't say that, believe it or not.
He usually only says it when it's just enemies. This is just more like an enemy. Like, technically I don't have to kill this enemy to rescue the guy. I can just talk to him. Alright.
You don't lose points or anything by
Another
killing
pose.
civilians.
Hey, come on.
No,
What
no.
the hell's been trying to do?
No, the only thing that happens is that the NPC will say, oops. That's it.
Yeah, oops.
Man, if only real
I guess the
life was like
developers.
that.
I guess the developers realized it would be incredibly frustrating if there was some kind of
Yeah,
penalty for it, so they decided to just we'll put in an oops to make it funny.
Okay, that's fine. Again, like I said, I admire that this game is much more practical and not needlessly difficult, like a lot of games at the time were.
Indeed.
Shoot, I guess in some way this must have been seen as the easy peasy game of its
Yes,
age.
like I said, compared to the games that it was actually based on, this was considered, the easy alternative.
But don't you see? Well, Jova, maybe that box art, like the description in the box, was correct. It's the most playable adventure game on the Mega Drive.
It's definitely one of the games of all time.
It's the most playable.
Indeed.
So maybe that's what they meant with playable, Jova. Like, it's very, it's not frustrating at all. It's very playable. That's the biggest. That's such a perfect way to describe this game. Considering how generic this game is, that generic way of describing the game is also very fitting. Like, Light Crusader, it's playable.
Babies, kids. It's
Animation.
Animation.
Oh,
And that's all they can say about it.
the wind.
Come on, David. You're the Knight of the well, you're not the Knight of the Wind. That's another Sega guy, but you can do it still. Wait, actually, why are you fighting against the wind? Shouldn't you just go out that other way that you?
I was trying to see if maybe I can go through do the barrel thing right now. Okay, so the idea is that just remember, when you hit the barrel, it takes 3 seconds for the barrel to explode. So you have to time it well, and try to make sure to see if the barrel see. As you can see, it can be a bit difficult to blow up the thing, so let's try... there you go.
But you got hurt, oh no!
Whatever, I have plenty of healing items.
If only life were like that. I got hit by an explosion? Let me just eat an apple. Okay, I'm better.
Well, it's like in Age of Empires, you need...
Castlevania would put it.
Well, it's like in Age of Empires, if you have enough pieces of meat, you can make a full-blown human.
Yes.
Ah, yes, roast mutton.
Well,
Very
not
good.
really. At least in the vanilla version of not vanilla, but in the original version of Age of Empires 2, the food icon was represented by a generic steak. But I'm guessing because in order to not piss off the vegan community, in the new versions it's instead replaced with a whiff of grain, which is the same thing at the end of the day.
I was actually thinking of Castlevania.
Alright, so this is yet another one of those where the platform goes in reverse towards where you move. So you have to try your best to, there you go. And we got the Holy Sword, which is useless to us,
we don't need it.
Yeah, which is useless to us because we already have the most powerful sword in the game. Seriously, why even bother?
Sequence ping, what's that?
I get the feeling the developers thought it would be really cool to have the Light Crusader part, but they didn't actually think, wait, doesn't that kind of make the Holy Sword useless?
Yeah, I'm sure no one will notice.
Let me guess, the Holy Sword is tied to another stat, which helps it be useful.
No, as far as I'm trust me, Joe, I've read all the manuals. I've read everything in this game. As far as I'm aware, all the swords have is one is more powerful than the other. They have nothing else to them as far as the game tells us. Anyway, the point is this guy's saying that apparently they need blood to revive the evil demon Ramiah, and these people.
That's why they've been kidnapping these people.
Yes, they're supposed to be blood sacrifices. So there you go. Finally, we explain why they're kidnapping all these people. There you go.
But we still don't understand why the villain is doing this.
Oh, don't worry. We will find out before this is over. That's the best part of the game for me. Are they crazy?
Are they crazy?
Whatever.
With that sprite face, I'm not sure, lady.
Alright, moving on. Okay, well, we'll get back to that bridge later. For now, let's... there's a treasure chest there.
Cross that one later.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Ooh, teleporter. Alright, so this is the final teleporter thingy. But we don't need to go back.
You need to do? I guess not.
No, not for now. And I think it's now. No, it's not yet. We're almost at the point where we have the hardest puzzle in the game. For now, we just have this one. Okay, so we have to get obviously this ball into the switch, and hold on.
Shouldn't you put it in the?
Well, remember that ball can actually go into the switch. It's just that. Let's see.
Balling.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I put the ball here and I put this here. There you go. That should work. There we go.
Very cool.
All right, moving on.
I do like how energetic and atmospheric the music is. It's a good balance.
Oh, the old man. He's mad. I'm telling you, Stark raving mad.
I
You
couldn't
don't
tell.
say.
So Tony Stark is raving mad. Okay, that makes sense.
Wouldn't be the first time.
He exaggerated a bit with the bull.
And we got the silver key, which should be able to help us the final doors of this floor. So cool. Indeed. Alright, let's continue. What else? Alright, no need to kill these guys, I guess. I might as well skip them.
Yeah,
Man.
Beat them, indeed.
Die.
Moving on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and here's the mirror puzzle thingy. Let's see. Let's try in on some of the riddle. No, oh, surprisingly, I don't just turn off all the lights. Okay.
There's something more.
You had to kill yourself in the mirror?
I don't think so. We'll get back to this. Oh, and it doesn't seem like there's much I can do
Hey, that's
here.
where we came in earlier.
Yes, it is.
From the other end.
Okay, this mirror must do something, but I don't know what.
You know, the fact that there's still a modern GameFAQs community for this game speaks a lot.
Like I said,
Yeah,
Jova,
like
this
you
game is
mentioned-
being re-released to this day, so I'm not that
it's
surprised.
because of that.
Probably what happened was people went off the Switch Online thingy, found out that this game was there, so they tried it out, so they started going to GameFAQs to look for guides because whatever.
Honestly, it's like some games that do get modern re-releases don't get an updated GameFAQs page for one reason or another. So it's no small feat necessarily.
It really depends.
Alright.
Maybe there's something in the background of the reflection that you need to
I
look
can
at.
Usually with a mirror like this, like say the fight against the fake Crash in the GBA Crash games, you need to essentially outsmart the AI by...
Hold on. Water! Okay, so you hear about a water, you can give it to him. Thank you. The mirror. There's a pathway in the mirror.
Ah.
Okay.
Good to know.
Thank you, a thirsting citizen.
Alright, and now I'll leave you there.
guess-
Alright, I guess I'll leave you there just to die, I guess. Bye. Thanks for the information.
Bye.
He'll be fine.
I mean, you gave him water.
Yeah, and as Undyne showed, all you need to do is give a person water. They'll be a-okay even after the worst.
So it's kind of like at the beginning of No Country for Old Men, where that guy was shot, and all Llewellyn does is give him a bottle of water. I'm pretty sure, Llewellyn, not for nothing, but I'm pretty sure a bottle of water is not enough to heal a fucking gun wound. I'm not a medical expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
According to Michael Jordan, Pedro, that counts as steroids, basically. I don't know.
Man, how weird is it that we've been in this gig for nearly 10 years and we have not yet covered Space Jam?
Sometimes obvious things are not necessarily as obvious, you know. Don't forget.
Anyway.
We still haven't touched Shrek anyway, either. But yes, Pedro.
Okay, so like you said, there's a fucking pathway in the mirror, so you have to go there. But first, let's see what's in here.
After beating them.
Yes, beat them. There you go.
He laughs as he dies.
Don't know what to tell you, Joe.
Alright, so once again, we have to beat them to unlock the barrier, so let's do so. Like I said, Jova, I've read all the manuals, I've read everything. As far as I can tell, all the equipment does is one equipment is more powerful than the other. So I have yet to.
Like we mentioned a couple of parts ago, we don't even know, like for example, what the gauntlets actually do.
I supposedly they give you more defense. That's you. I mean,
Ideally.
What the heck?
Remember, this is the woman cook from the castle. Something dreadful has happened. The princess has been kidnapped by the Wizards Guild.
Oh.
Wait, when did that happen?
Off screen.
Off screen.
And she's clubbing the.
To be fair, Dwebs, it's this game's plot. Do you really care?
I mean, I'm not even too perturbed
that
by
poor
it.
orc
It's
is
just
getting
like.
clubbed with the frying pan.
All right, so
I
let's
guess
see
what
where
we
we
did
can.
was,
Let's see if we can find the princess then.
Stop it!
And yes, even if you separate the woman from the guy who she's beating up, he's still acting like he's beating up.
That frying pan is really that strong.
Yeah, we have to apparently break him out of that trance. That being said, it is a funny sight of
just kill him.
that being said, it is a funny bit that the developers put in of she's beating the crap out of one of the goblins.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm. You can at the very least tell that the people who made this were at the very least having fun. Alright, let's move on.
I mean, the princess getting kidnapped.
Oh, and there you
I
go.
was honestly
We got
surprised it
the
didn't
final
happen.
beat of maximum life.
Which means we
I
have
was
now
honestly
got all the possible maximum life you can have in the game. There you go.
well done. I mean,
Hey.
I'm guessing the princess is part of the prophecy or
them.
whatnot, and it was like.
Also, we still need that damsel in distress, so you know, give her the time and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, look. I do feel like just because a woman gets kidnapped and is a damsel, that doesn't automatically make a story bad. Or
Oh no!
I'm just
Oh
saying-
no!
just saying that,
Trust me, Jova. I absolutely refuse that notion as well.
I'm just saying that a game done around this time, you know, might have felt it being compelled to do it as a narrative and said, "Oh, otherwise the poor might not feel need the stakes or something."
I
Anyway,
will give them this though. They at least did let us interact with the princess well beyond that point. So I'm guessing that if you go back to the castle at this point, it'll turn out she's no longer there now.
And
I've-
the king will probably tell you.
well, so the game. So I never actually tried that, but I'm pretty sure it does. The game has done that for the other NPCs, so I don't see why that would not be the case. In the meantime, boss battle. and we're apparently fighting, and we're apparently fighting that guy from last battle. Except like seriously, what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that. Remember that guy who you thought it was gross from last battle? The guy, the little fat guy throwing balls at you. It reminds me of that.
I'm more reminded of the like a flying version of a covetous demon from Dark Souls 2.
This one is
I reminded more of that weird blob guy from Gayfer's Pond.
This is the hardest boss in the game. Why? Because unlike all the other bosses, he can heal himself.
Piece of shit.
In fact, and since he just bounces all around the place, it can be very difficult to hurt him. So this is where I'm going to bust out the only spell that I find useful, Thunder, and try to hurt him. The problem is, yeah, that little thingy also, there you go.
That triangle is absorbing your magic.
Not just that, it also heals him. However, you can take it down. I don't quite know what the lights do in this room. I mean, whenever I touch them, it doesn't seem to do anything.
There was a guide from the bosses. Let me check if this one gets mentioned.
That's the thing, like when I played this as a kid, I managed to complete the entire game without a guide, so at this point I just play the game the way I've always played.
Yeah, I'm just searching for curiosity's sake.
It's because this game is very like this game doesn't really require specific strategies for bosses. As long as you're good enough and you stock up on items and you can wing it out, you'll be able to eventually go through the entire game. This boss, on the other hand, no. This boss is genuinely annoying because, like, again, his healing power.
There we go.
Fat fairy.
Well, at least that's what the guide called it.
Go on to what?
It's not a matter of being tough, but rather a matter of being annoying. Here.
There you go. Go on.
If on the white pyramid with circles, even during this time, do not strike him or the pyramid. Any damage done to him during this time will replenish his health. So it's more of a case of you're not supposed to do anything, and you hitting that is just hitting the boss.
Oh, really?
You just need to wait for the pyramid to disappear and then continue your attacks.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, I'll give him credit. That's creative.
But it doesn't mention about what the lights can do in this room.
Okay. Question, Theo. Is that the same guide of that guy that when we that talk about how it was hard to notice the shadow of the Light Crusader boss? Okay, because that guy and I seems like we both have very similar views on this game because that's not the second time he's described the boss the same way I did. So that's nice at least.
Okay, so that's the trick then. You're supposed to not attack him when the thing... Which, you know what? Now looking back at the footage, that does make sense since his health was going down, since you were constantly slicing him when he would bring up a triangle.
I do agree with Pedro. I wonder what do the light at the corners actually do, if any.
I mean, did the developer just put it in there for the lulz?
I honestly thought it was tied to the pyramid mechanic.
Do they resonate with specific spells? Like if you use a light spell, it magnifies its pose.
Not that I'm aware.
Only grasping at straws.
Wow, no rest for the wicked. You beat the boss only to be welcomed with more.
I mean,
sorcerers.
I never tried that, but honestly, considering how fucking useless spells are in this game, I'm guessing no.
And the sprite flickering.
Yeah, the sprite flickering, yeah. I actually don't think the simulator that I'm using has a an option to bypass sprite flickering. I'll have to take a look to see if maybe...
It's more the case where in the other places of the game it's actually tolerable, but with the wizards teleporting it can get very distracting.
Yeah.
We're doing the same shit that Ganondorf did. Ganon did during the Dungeon of Zelda.
Oh, here's a princess. Go ahead, Jova. And here's my favorite conversation in the game. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for your help.
Alright, now we're about to find out the motivation of the villain, everybody, so pay attention.
I guess we rescued her already in record time. Years ago, my mother told me that the man called Lord Roke
Okay.
used to be a friend of my father's.
Oh boy. Okay.
Both asked my mother to marry them, but she chose my father.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the cock arc!
As old as time indeed. Roke left the castle and became leader of
The Wizards Guild?
the Wizards Guild.
Nerd.
Yeah, we already had established that.
Ever since, he's been waiting for the chance to take his revenge and make his own castle with blackjack and hookers against my father and this country.
Uh-huh.
This lovely country that we are all a part of, to revive the evil demon. Just because Mom didn't choose him, they need the lives of sacrificial victims. If we save those lives, the evil demon cannot be revived.
There you go.
We've already rescued quite a
So
few
we finally-
civilians.
We need to have a case of what Zero Pussy does to a motherfucker.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's the main villain, the villain's main motivation: blue balls.
So let's see. So we rescued the princess not too long after finding out she was kidnapped. That might be a new record.
That was actually very easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
Who knows? Maybe
yeah.
the princess will even get to help out during the final battle with some light arrows or something.
What do you think this is? Zelda, Jova? No.
Well, this game clearly has all the homes, so okay.
I never want a crossover between. Oh, gone.
Okay, so this is probably the most difficult puzzle in the game because you have to get the barrel all the way throughout this entire room so you can have it blow up the door.
Interesting.
Or is it like wait? Is it no? Never mind. I think it's the ball actually.
Ball.
Yeah, it's the ball that you
Yeah.
have to take there. Never mind. The point is you have to get one of these things.
Hey, a Sega game with a very annoying ball puzzle.
There you go.
Oh, and you solved it just like that.
That's because
He knows it already.
I mean I've played for this game so many times, Jove. At this
Yeah.
point, you know.
It's weird though. You have less trouble with that than previous puzzles.
It's because this one in particular, Jova, this one is ingrained in my memory because I spent so much time in that room as a kid, you know?
Ah, okay.
I mean, the smaller puzzles, those kind of blend in together for me, but that particular one, yeah, that one is unforgettable because that one, the first time you do that one, it's gonna take you a while.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that particular puzzle can be a bit, anyway.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Ooh, ah. Elements full.
Again, they laugh upon dying. They're just that insane.
Alright, we're almost done. Now that we've saved the sacrificial... Okay, so now in order we have to kill these skeletons. However, there's a very easy way to do it. Like I've already explained before, there's actually a spell you can use called Undead. Not this one. Not Judgment. Turn Undead. This spell kills any undead enemies in just one hit. Like so.
Cool. I like that pose he makes when he casts a spell.
There you go.
Okay.
And there you go, too. That's the one time Turn Undead is useful. There you go.
Hooray.
Well, I guess there were other moments where you were fighting skeletons, so those two?
That's the thing. Other times when there's skeletons, you can easily bypass them anyway, so you're better off saving your magic for later.
Are you sure it's not this the most difficult puzzle? Because I seem to remember that it was something like this.
No. This one is relatively more simple compared to the other one, because this one has a lot less variables. This one is just a matter of pushing the barrel up. See? There you go.
Okay.
See, this is very simple compared to the other one. There's a lot less variables in this one. There you go. See?
Why did they include steps for that one?
In case you want to go back.
Oh, right, in case you want to go back.
Yep. All right.
You're-
Another mirror. Is there a path one in this one too?
There's a path
Aha!
mirror.
There you go. But yeah, like I was saying, yes, ladies and gentlemen, all this amounts to is a guy who wants to kill everybody because cock arc.
Couldn't get laid. Or at least he couldn't get the woman he wanted.
There are other
He
fish in the
went
sea.
through
Oh, here he is. Listen. Destroy the 4 orbs that Ramiah holds. Remember the 4 orbs that Roke made us collect for him, remember? Then you can banish him. So basically the orbs are the weak point. Well, that I would already guess that on my own. I mean, usually when you're fighting a boss battle, if you see 4 dots, usually that's the fuck you spot. Anyway, Dwebs, you missed the princess. Basically, Dwebs, according to the princess, the reason the villain is even doing all of this is because both her and the king were in love with the queen, but the queen chose her father, obviously. So
he basically did the thing that Yavi does in the Waking the Dragon arc, where he jumps to the ground. It should have been me,
not him.
Yeah. So basically, much to like, if Deji was here, he would go nuts because this is indeed the cuck arc, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why you wanted to include him for this finale.
I love how the villain's entire motivation is blue balls.
You'd be surprised how many villains.
I might not be the biggest, fan of Final Fantasy X plot, but I guess I have to be grateful that Seymour's entire motivation is not defined by his jealousy in regards to Tidus.
Mm-hmm. And look at that, now we're fighting 3 clones of David.
You see, the greatest villain
Must be
is yourself.
What a story.
Alright, and this is the final puzzle room of the game. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this one because this one is also very time consuming, so you know what?
Let me guess, it unlocks another weapon that's not Light Crusader.
Yeah, it unlocks another piece of equipment, but at this point, who the hell cares? Let's just move on. Not to mention, as you guys are about to find out, Ramiah is piss easy. He like seriously, he's a piss easy boss if I've ever heard it. I have no idea why everybody was so afraid of this demon getting revived, because this demon is so easily killable.
Maybe the idea is that he's had his wings clipped, so he comes back weaker before he can properly
kill him. Kill everyone who went up against it.
All right, so the final boss is near. But first we have a fountain, so we can heal ourselves.
One last fountain.
Very generous fountain of life.
Indeed. We also have a save point here, if I remember correctly. Yes, right before the boss. But whatever. Like I said, don't bother. This boss is incredibly easy, I assure you.
Confident, I see.
No, trust me, Jova. I never died against this boss. This boss, during my first time, I killed him very easy. This boss is pissy, and you're about to see for yourself. All right, Dwebs, please read. I know it's quick, but try.
It comes up. Do you think you foil my plans by saving the sacrificial victims? You fools!
He has one more card to play.
One sacrifice is all that is required.
Wait,
My
what?
dude, really?
And that shall be my own!
He really
By the way,
wants
how's
the
your
kingdom.
sex life?
Farewell then, Reader David. I offer my life to darkness. Awake, Ramiah!
Awaken my masters!
So yeah, Roke.
He did this all just because.
So yeah, Roke gives his own life to Ramiah. So like. So yeah, like that guy said, break the orbs first. There's actually
to meet Kali in hell.
Yes, there's actually a different thing that he says in the European version. Let me quickly get it. Yeah, see, you see what I mean?
I can't believe that guy really wants revenge so bad he gave his.
See, look at this. Ramiah does barely anything. He shoots that laser down to the floor when you're moving up.
It reminds me of the final bosses of Ghosts and Goblins. They do the same.
Seriously, I'm not. You're starting to see what I mean. Why I never lost to this boss, even as a kid, playing my first time. This boss is.
After the orb, basically to attack the head.
Yeah, and you just do this until he dies. Don't bother. Just keep attacking. You'll be fine.
The heck does more Earth mean?
You have exhausted the Thunder spell.
And look at that. He can even do the Judgment spell. So that's nice. Yeah, don't worry. Just keep playing, and just beat him. That's easy.
Okay,
Doesn't
to be fair,
look
I'm
like
not
you're
seeing the
scratching
health
much.
decreasing, so
Oh.
I wonder if it's more.
Don't worry, Jova. This boss is it takes a while, yes, but that doesn't change the fact that it's easy as piss. Just keep eating him. Eventually, he'll go down.
Just keep hitting.
So just swing away.
Yes, just swing away. Let me see what he says in the European version.
Shyamalan truly onto something.
Oh, there we go. Finally.
Huh.
Oh, I guess it suffers from the same issue of your first Kingdom Hearts, where bosses have like a gajillion health bars, so even you're inflicting damage, you're not really sure if the pink health bar is actually depleting or
Yeah,
not.
a bit. Yeah.
I wonder.
Anyway, here's what he says here's what Roke says in the European version. Because again, the script is slightly different in both versions. Do you think you have foiled my plans by saving the sacrificial victims? You fools. And then he says, come on. One final ploy remains for me yet. One final ploy. But anyway, I'll finish later because, yeah. There you go. That's our final... This is the big demon everybody was so afraid of, everybody.
Roke literally gave his life to this thing.
Go ahead, Dwibs. There's a line coming here.
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Oh, lost? How? Ramiah, no!
Go ahead, Theo.
I don't want to end up like that.
Oh, that guy is dying.
I'm okay. I'm starting to think Theo's right. I'm starting to think David is brain dead.
Tell me what he's in, tell me what he saw.
Where's David gone to, Father?
What? Oh yeah, and we end on a "the king is death" joke. Oh, I love this one. What happened, my friend? Everyone's making a commotion.
Wow, they did just get kidnapped and re-rescued.
Aren't you going to join in?
I'm no good at goodbyes.
Really? You're just gonna cut and run?
I hope that we can have another wonderful adventure. Wonderful adventure! Someday.
You nearly died! It was a traumatic
Yeah,
experience!
I hope so too. I hope I'll be in very near a lot of crossovers.
Seriously, man. You know, I know it's probably not intentional, but I just love David and his sheer audacity.
Anyway, while these credits are going on real quick, let me just finish what it's saying here. So one vile ploy remains for me yet, he says, and then he says, that is my own life. Farewell then, Whedon, David. I offer my own life to the evil demon Huster. Yeah, that's the other thing. In the
Huster.
In the European version, the demon is called Huster instead of Ramiah. I don't know what the fuck the European translators were thinking.
Honestly, other than that name, it sounds like they got something right for
it's
a change
just worded
there.
differently.
That's the thing, Teo. The final line that Roke says before he dies is the most confusing part. As you're, give me just a moment. Notice how, as Dwebs just read, he said, "What? No, how could Ramiah lose? No, generic." Leave in loss. But here's what he says in the European version. I'm pretty convinced this was a mistranslation. He's in the European version. He says, "Loser, loser, I loved you." What? And then David says the whole.
Oh my.
And then David's like, I don't want to end up like that. So David's line is still the same, but for some reason Roke's final line before death is, "Loser, loser, I loved you." What the fuck?
Wait, so
what I'm guessing he might have wanted originally was supposed to say the name of the queen and say, "I loved you because I did all of this for you," but I don't know. For starters, I don't understand why the two different English versions have different scripts. While in general, what happens is that the European versions usually copy-pasted the English version from the American one, most of the time
does this
at least.
mean that the queen's name was actually Loser?
Sure.
I'll admit, when I first heard that battle dialogue, I almost thought he was telling David that he loved him in the final moment.
Alright, everybody, so that was Light Crusader. Jova, since you're the newcomer, go ahead.
Oh boy, it can be hokey, but again, I'm impressed in how legit fun this game looks and plays, honestly. David is... Oh, he's David, alright. He is...
David is something.
Like I said, I think he's almost respectable just for the sheer audacity and how he
He
handles
doesn't give a
stuff.
single shit.
I just love how he just saw the villain die, become a pile of mush, and his reaction is, "Boy, I sure don't want to end up like that."
Again,
It's almost
that
like he's
cutscene
rubbing
in,
salt in the wound.
It's like that cutscene in World of Gamble. You killed me!
Good.
Yeah. And speaking of Zelda, yeah, honestly, I could totally dig this having a crossover with Zelda, because I'm sure David would have interesting notes to trade with Link, although he'd probably boast that he managed to
anything,
rescue his princess in record time.
If anything, just to keep it more, more into the territories of Sega, why has David never show up as a guest character in the Shining Force series? It kinda is fitting for that.
I don't know, honestly. Like, okay, look, I'm not gonna act like the story is so deep and thought-provoking, but honestly, it has a fine enough knitted narrative. You know, when it's translated properly, I gotta know what the Europeans were smoking on this one.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this game looks and plays pretty fun. And I even got a kick out of a story and dialogue for what little there was. So yeah, no, good stuff.
All right.
It's a bit dated, but no, it holds to the
It's a
test
bit
of time.
David.
Go ahead, Dubs.
Okay, one thing I will give it definitely is that it's got pretty good voice sound quality for a Mega Drive game.
Eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also the
it's-
riddle.
Answer the
Better
riddle.
than whatever the fuck Altered Beast did it. Everyone says, voice from your grave, but even in general, all of the in-game spoken lines are just terrible. Like the "Welcome to your doom" line from the villain.
It's gonna kill you.
Yeah, but aside from that though, it's just your average isometric adventure game for the most part. So I mean, there are those weird bits, but other than that, it looks pretty standard. But at least by the standards of when the game came out.
But Wibbs, according to the back of the European box, it's the most playable adventure game on the Mega Drive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as opposed to the most unplayable one. But hey, it's not lying. It's playable. So there you go. It's accurate. And there you go. That's it for me.
Too.
Honestly, yeah, it's enjoyable. Again, I forgot what my thoughts were the first time, so keep these in mind. Again, the thing that, ironic enough to me, work against this game is the isometric perspective. Because I get the idea why they wanted to do, but this is a case of just because it's different doesn't mean that it can work flawlessly. And unfortunately, it can screw you up a lot of times, especially for the more complicated puzzle where you need to understand positioning. Even some of the boss battles, like we mentioned, the one where you had to keep track of the shadow. That being said, it's not like this was without merit. And again, the company, it showcases how creative the company that Treasure actually still is, was even at the time. Again, if you played Gunstar Heroes or a bit more recently, Radiant Silvergun, you kind of understand what these guys are capable of. The story is just very serviceable. David incarnates the protagonist that was around the time. He's not too different from King Graham from King's Quest when you really get down to it. The intrepid adventurer, hopping from place to place, just in seek of a new thrill. Very classic type. So this will be the kind of character that will be more deconstructed during the PS3 era. But doing around this time, it was actually pretty much the norm. But again, it's serviceable as a story, if not laughable in some points. But again, that's part of the charm. Again, shame that this never, despite the commitment that Sega has in releasing it, this never showed up that much in crossovers of any kind. I do believe, again, there is potential, not even necessarily for a sequel, but again, just have David or elements from this game pop up in a Sega crossover. I definitely think there is potential for those, but alas. Not to mention, these days Sega is not really paying too much attention to its fantasy. type of branch in terms of IPs. The last major thing that we saw was the release of Shining Shining Resonant Refrain, which was welcome. But aside from that, maybe some mobile stuff here and there, but not much, unfortunately.
I guess unless you count Fantasy Star Zone
That's
2.
sci-fi, Joe. I'm talking fantasy in terms of setting.
I mean, some people would argue it's sci-fi fantasy.
No, it's
but,
still sci-fi. Star Ocean is more akin to a sci-fi with a fantasy kind of setting. But again, I'm digressing. Still good, fun experience for what it's worth. Pedro.
Yeah, like I still have a big soft spot for this game because it's so charmingly quirky and absolutely delightful in how weird and really stupid it can be. Like I said, go on.
Like I said, for the game of its time, it's amazingly accessible and doesn't have a lot of the BS stuff you tended to see in games of that era, which might have made some people think it's too easy back then, but by modern game standards, well, people would find it amazing that this was made back as early as it was.
Mm-hmm. Like I said,
in a good way.
The puzzle design is genuinely excellent, and like Theo noticed, yes, it never feels like you're ever solving the same puzzle more than once.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has that going for it. And like I said, there's just a very unique quirkiness to this game that makes it charming to play even to this day. I actually do recommend going on YouTube because there's a playthrough that someone made of this game called Light Crusader is a ridiculous RPG. And yeah, you can check that out. That being said, yeah, like I said, if you have Switch Online, for the like the expansion pack specifically, try it out. I mean, why not, right? It has a very unique campy charm to it that makes it very unique to this day. So, like I said, I'm genuinely convinced at this point that Theo is right and David is brain dead. So
again, Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau.
Not too much of a difference. But yes, let's say, come on, Sega, you're willing to make more movies based on your IPs. Light Crusader.
Yes, I want a Light. Yes, make a Light Crusader film.
With Tommy Wiseau.
All right, everybody. See you for whatever. See you for whatever Mega Drive game we do next.
Yeah.
See ya.
Take care.